Hello, my name is Judy West and I'd like to thank you for joining me today. This is video 1 in a series on how to create this page. I will be uploading a video each Friday, and so then if this is the first one that's been uploaded, then you'll have to wait a week to see the second one. But if this video has been up for a while, just go to Judy West the Painting Nana and find the rest in the series. In this first video, I'm going to show you how we added the background writing, how we added this beautiful napkin here, and also how we doodled this doodle pattern on the side here. The napkins you see in this video all come from NinnysNapkins, and if you check the description box below, there are links to her shop, to her website, and a discount code, so that if you want to purchase any of the napkins and have a go at this page yourself, there's the opportunity to do that and receive 10% discount. I have an earlier video on how to art journal cutting the page edge flip through, and I just did a flip through of this journal that I'm playing with and showed you things like the cut edges in it and the different ways the methods I use to do that. I've got a little bit of doodling in this as well. So now what I'm going to do is I'm going to do the other side of one of those cut edges. This one I haven't finished yet, but that's one side, and now I'm going to do a doodle to match this shape of the other side. And I'll just quickly do a fast track so you can see this happening. I'm going to be using Sakura microns. I usually start off with a small one, small in size, like maybe about a 1 or a 2, and then if I want to go over it later to hide mistakes or make something more important, then I do that. Some people mightn't want to fiddle that much and go to the right size straight away, but that's fine. It's all up to you how you do these things. I've got a pencil sketch of roughly what I want to do here, and I'm going to start with a heart, and I've drawn the heart straight, but actually I might do a thicker one, about a 4. I'm going to make it wave, not too wavy, but just a little bit. The reason being I want it to look a little bit viney because I'm going to put leaves off it. So it's not too much of a wave. I hope my hand's not in the road too much, but there's no way around this. And it's not perfectly the same in every bit. You know, it's a bit straighter there, a bit more curvy there, etc. Now also I've got these lines here, and I'm putting these wiggly lines along them. Now because I've drawn some of these wiggly lines in pencil, once I think this pen is dried, I will then rub those pencil lines out before I add anything else to this art journaling page. And I'm one of those people that I have no idea what I'm going to do. I don't know what it's going to look like. I just keep going until I'm happy with it. So now I want to do leaves that are pointy at one end and rounded at the other. They might even have a bit of a dip in them or a kink in them. They can be leaning to the left or right. But I'm just going to go around this whole heart with the leaves on either side. And I'm thinking maybe I might add some berries after that. But with all my art journal pages in this book, I've done the doodling first, because then if I add any paint or paper or anything after, I know exactly where I want this design to be, and I can work around it. I don't really want to have to work over ink or paint with these pens. they don't do well with some inks and papers and things, and I'd rather have the sharp edge of this pen line now. And I'm not making all these leaves exactly the same. Oh, look, that one's upside down. Same direction, same size. I'm trying to make them all different and higgledy-piggledy. Oh, done that one upside down too. Not to worry. There's so many of them, it don't matter. This is quite an easy thing to draw. You can draw your leaves any shape you like. You just need to be consistent with them, so that if you want it to look like it belongs, it needs to be consistent. But it doesn't matter that they're not the same shape as mine. Have a look online and see, have a look at a lot of different leaf shapes and see which ones you think would be easier for you to draw, or which fits the type of thing you like. You might want it all pointy and jagged. You might want it nicely rounded. You might want them bigger and fatter with veins. It all depends on what you like as compared to what everybody else likes. The good thing about it is I give you these set of instructions and you go with your likes and dislikes, and we'll all turn out with a different page, and they'll all be beautiful and interesting. Now, as you can see, it's still roughly the heart shape, but the leaves aren't all the same. Now, that should have had enough drying time, I hope, for me to be able to rub out these excess lines here. Now, the other thing I think what I'll do with this is I'm going to make this a little bit more solid, this through here, and not so see-through. And the way I'm going to do that is I'm going to get a larger pen, maybe an 8 in this, and I'm going to colour in the bumps. Okay, I don't know if I'll do both or just the one. Notice all the bumps aren't exactly the same distance either side of the line. Some are taller, some are shorter, some are wider, some are thinner. If you like perfectly consistent, you can do that, but if you're worried about your drawing skills and being able to maintain that, you don't need to. Now, I think I will do the other one as well. Actually, I might do something different with this other one. I'm going to have a line that mimics this side of that. So I'll make it stand out in a different way. What I might do is just colour the bumps on the other side. Just so I'm adding a little bit more interest in that pattern. I'm going to make this line thicker by mimicking it and then going along it, colouring it in. So I'm actually creating a third line here and colouring in between those two. Okay, so we've got that extra funny line there. Now, what I'd like to do is come back and now re-look at this. Of course, that's fairly dark. I need this to be dark too. So first of all, what I'm going to do is I'm going to come through and I'm going to add some little clusters of berries in the gaps. So there's 1, 2, 3 there, and maybe 1 there, and maybe 2 there, and maybe just brightens this up a little bit and makes the leaves stand out a little bit more. And don't go 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3. Do different clusters of berries so that it's inconsistent. There we are. Now, what am I going to do with these leaves? I think I'm going to go over this line with this thicker line first to make this heart stand out more. Make it a stronger line. I'm doing it with the number 8 pen, or 08. So I like that darker. I'm just going to leave those leaves for now. I think what I'll do is I'll come back with paint and do something with those later on. What I'm going to do next is get this napkin here from NinnysNapkins, and I'm just going to get all the layers off first. Now, is there another layer there? I'm not sure. So hard to see when it's white on white. Oh, I'm going to have to use some tape to get this apart. Let's try on a new corner. There we are. Love this tape trick. See how quick that was? I'm going to get all that off, and then I'm going to tear some bits up, and I'm just going to put them in different places over this page. Now, as you can see, it's already got some pink from a previous page. and some bleed through from other pages, and that just adds to the interest of this all. So I'm going to get some Mod Podge, and I've got a bottle of Mod Podge that I add water to, and I'm going to do that so I get a runny consistency. Now I've got my little bottle of Mod Podge watered down, and I've got my napkins, and I'm just going to get a little skinny brush, and I'm just going to wet it and do some odd shapes with the water so I can tear it, because I don't want the edges to be straight. I want them to be fluffy. If where there is a straight edge, I might put it on a corner like that, but where it's fluffy, I'll just put it out in the middle somewhere. And I'm just daubing it anywhere I feel like. And not necessarily straight up and down. I could do it sideways as well, and I'll just get it to go with the flow of the edge so it doesn't go over my design, but it fits in with it. Notice I'm not real fussy about this. I just want a background, and a background is not an important thing, so it doesn't have to be perfect. Okay, so we've got all these bits and pieces now, and we're going to start putting it on. So this is a process because things are going to have to dry in between. Now I've got silicone mats underneath, and that will stop some of the bleed through or the glue going through and sticking pages together and that sort of thing. And I've just got this very, very runny consistency, and I'll just put glue down and stick it on. Actually, I could probably just not even worry about gluing underneath, because this is so thin it'll go straight through the napkin. So I'll just get the napkins in the position I want them and just go straight through. Look at that, easy peasy. And I don't care if they wrinkle, I don't care if this little bit's sticking up, that it's texture I'm after. So this is not an activity where I'm trying to get the napkin perfectly smooth by any means. And you can see some of that blue that was in the crack of the book there. It's coming through because it's a Delusions paint, and they can be revitalized at any time. We're getting some of that blue through there, which is quite nice. Oh, I'm loving this. Get it into that join in the book so that it will fold easily. And this is where I'm going to have to go let it dry for a while before I do any more. Or you could hit it with a hairdryer if you wanted to. I don't start at either end or go around the edges first. I start from one side and work my way across, or start from the middle and work my way out. It reduces the chance of ripples and bubbles. And that's a nice little background for this page. And if there's anything sticking over the edge of the page, I'll cut that off once it's dry. And as you can see, the pink's showing through, which is great. Now I've got to let this dry before I come back, and I'll be back when it's dry. That's now dry, so what I'm going to do is just go around the edges and cut off any excess paper that's sitting over the edge there. And I'll just use a pair of scissors to do that. There we are. There's a little bit up the top there, but I can cut that off later. I can't get at it at the moment. And there's some ragged edges there. I might have to pick the whole book up and turn it around to get at it exactly. Now that I've done that, I have another napkin I want to put over the top. And this one is called Sea of Blossoms. And it's this one. And I'm just going to first of all just cut between the pictures. But I don't want that sharp edge. I just want to get this other napkin, part of the napkin off before I do the wet paper thing. And I need to be able to take the layers off like that. And as you know, I don't take the layers off until I'm ready to use the napkin. And see, I measured it before, but this just fits nicely in here. And I'm just going to take it off along that wavy edge there so that it fits into the edge. And I'm going to take this off here so that it looks like that's the finish of it. So let's just take the top edge off first so I make it raggedy, and then we'll worry about the sides. So that's better looking for me anyway. That's my personal preference. I don't like straight lines, I like the raggedy ones for this particular project. Now I want it straight around the book edge and along the bottom edge, but then I'm going to have to I might take out this little bit here, some of this here. See that bottom bit there? Take a bit of that out so that that print can show through stronger. There. And I'm going to take off some of this here so that it looks like we're coming to the edge of that bunch of flowers there. Now let's see what that looks like. Okay, now this is going to have to come off too, like that, but I'll refine it more once I've put the glue down. And when I get there. So this is going to come like that. Alright. Now, so what I need to do first is I'm going to start on this side, putting it right down to the edge, because it will stretch a little bit, and work my way across here. Looks like I took off too much, but anyway, it's no biggie. I've still got it, so I can put it back on again. So now what I'm going to do is start working my way across this page the same way as I did the other pieces, right on that edge first to start with. Now I'm going to hold this up a bit and put a bit of tension on it to try and get it to sit the way I want it to. And notice the way I'm using more than one napkin to create a picture. Have a look at your napkins. You might have some that you've used and you think, oh, well, I don't want to use that again, but maybe not on its own, but maybe in conjunction with other napkins, it could make a beautiful picture. I might have to add a bit more that I tore off to this, but that's not biggie. I'm not gluing over that black bit. And I'm going to grab that little bit that I took off and bring it back in here just to the edge of the black bit. Okay, and then when it dries you can cut off the excess. Now just come back and make sure you've got no bits that are just sitting up in the air with no glue on them. You need the whole thing glued down properly. Yeah, there was a whole bit there that didn't have any glue on it. Okay, now starting to look pretty. I've decided to try and tear this off while it's still wet, just see if that's an option. And I have a blade there. I don't know if that'll help or not, but let's give it a go. See, while that's still wet, I'm actually going to go along this edge and cut through the napkin. It's not working very well. Not too bad. Oh yeah, I'm getting there. I might have to come back over this later. Oh, see, I've got that bit there missing. So it probably was better to wait until it's dry, but let's just leave it at that for now. I just want to cut that bit out. There we are. So that'll keep me happy. To see the completion of this page, go to my channel and look at the Paper Napkins playlist for video 2. If you enjoyed this video today, please like, share and subscribe, and don't forget to hit the little bell to be notified of my new videos.